Welcome to Psyched for Sanity. I am one of your hosts, Dr. Tara McKelvey Parker. I'm a licensed clinical psychologist working in private practice. I specialize in assessing and treating complex trauma and attachment wounds from childhood.
And I'm your other host, Dr. Brindle Doss. I'm also a licensed psychologist specializing in forensic psychology, geriatrics, trauma treatment, and child psychology.
Yes, you do.
Thank you. Yes, I do. Thank you for confirming that. Sometimes I forget.
Sometimes you just throw random things in there.
It seems like that, I think. And I train myself rigorously to try to be prepared for all my fields.
You really do. You've got a lot of experience.
Well, speaking of experience, have you ever noticed how there is a lot of advice about relationships on the internet?
Yeah, it's quite overwhelming.
Right, yes. And so today we thought we would kind of react to some videos we've found and
Some videos.
share our thoughts. Some people I think can give really helpful advice
Yeah.
on the internet.
Yeah, I think a lot of it is super helpful. Although, as a perfectionist, watching the videos,
Recovering perfectionist,
watching the videos can be quite unhelpful at times. So I sometimes have to not.
Sure, I think a lot of the times because, and this is more of a commentary on the interplay between human beings and social media and the internet. People really want things boiled down to a 15-second short or reel. They really want it really brief.
Yeah.
Which I get.
Yeah.
You don't have a lot of time.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of these things are not really digested, in my opinion, in short form content.
Yeah, I think it makes it a little bit, I think it's more fodder for perfectionism in that way. It feels more black and white, right? When you're watching a little snippet of it. And I think that can make things harder, at least for me.
Right.
So
my favorite thing is when people don't watch the full video, even if it's like 30 or 40 seconds, and then they react to it and they don't watch the full video. And then their reaction doesn't make sense in the comments. And I'm always like, if you watch the full video,
watch until the end,
you might understand more of what the person's saying. I am
attention spans are short, though. I think I'm guilty of doing that at times.
They are. I have this theory about this. So imagine olden times. I know.
Olden time, like what
I'm talking like villages and like cows. Just go with me. I'm going somewhere. I'm going to a place.
My brain went to like the 60s or something.
The olden times in the 60s.
That's why I clarified.
Okay, so olden times. So back in the day,
villages and cows.
Yes, like well before technology or parts of technology. They had the wheel, whatever. There's no time period with this. But imagine people saying out loud in a village square or in a pub, a bar, whatever, tavern. Imagine them saying their comments out loud that they write on the internet. Would they ever do that? No. No, they wouldn't. Because even though you get immediate feedback on the internet sometimes with your comments, right? You're not face to face with necessarily another human being. It's a screen. It's flattened.
Right.
The internet and social media can flatten the world if you let it. And so people feel much more emboldened. There's a lot of information about this.
Yes.
They're much more emboldened to say things that they would never say to another 3D human person. And so it's always interesting to me when people comment on stuff and don't really... I always, in my head, I'm like, would you say this out loud in a public space? Even not to necessarily to their face, but would you say this amongst a group of friends at a table? Maybe you would.
Well, that says something about...
you say it, not me. I'm not saying it.
I was just going to say, that says something about someone's personality.
It does.
Right? It's not in a necessarily negative way, but...
Maybe. Anyways, let us...
We're going to react
to videos.
Short clips.
We're going to react to some videos.
And we're going to see what happens.
Yeah. Yeah. So I found this video a while ago, and I am high-key obsessed with it.
Yes,
high-key.
You did like this video. I liked it too. I watched it.
This creator is, to my understanding, not a mental health provider, but I have never co-signed every word of the video so much as I have this one. So I really like it. But let's see what you think about it, and let's see what we can talk about.
Okay, let's go.
Things I wish someone would have told me before I got married. My husband and I have been together 16 years, married 10. And if I could go back and talk to my younger self, here's what I would say. 1, you are not just marrying a person. You are marrying their childhood. Their coping mechanisms, their family dynamics, their weird money habits, their conflict style, the way they shut down when stressed, the fact that they leave one sip of juice in the refrigerator like a sociopath. And they're marrying all of yours too. 2, love is not enough. I know people hate hearing that because it sounds unromantic, but shared values matter more than chemistry long term. Because eventually you stop asking, do we love each other? And start asking, do we want the same kind of life? 3, learn how to fight without becoming cruel. Because every couple fights, but there's a difference between we're frustrated and I'm trying to emotionally destroy you because I'm overstimulated. Marriage is basically 2 exhausted people trying not to psychologically waterboard each other during tax season. 4, you are both going to become completely different people.
Oh my gosh.
The person I was at 22, gone. And honestly, thank God, because she thought being emotionally compatible meant liking the same bands. The goal is not to stay the same forever. The goal is, can we keep meeting each new version of each other with curiosity instead of resentment? 5, the little things are not little. The dishes, the forehead kiss, the drive safe, the coffee made for you in the morning, the I picked this up because I thought you'd like it. That's the relationship. Not the anniversary posts, not the wedding photos. Love mostly lives in boring Tuesday behavior. 6, pay attention to how they handle accountability.
Lots of things
because
related to
everybody wants honesty until honesty applies to them. Can they apologize without making themselves the victim? Can they hear feedback without turning it into a courtroom drama? Can they repair after conflict? Or does every disagreement become an ego survival mission? Conflict is normal, but defensiveness is what kills intimacy. And 7, your partner cannot be your entire universe. I actually think this destroys a lot of relationships. People stop having individuality, friends, passions, purpose, creativity, mystery. Then suddenly marriage has to provide romance, therapy, identity, healing, security, purpose, best friendship, sexual chemistry, and entertainment forever. Meanwhile, your husband is just standing there trying to eat pretzels in peace. That is too much pressure for one nervous system.
A lot of pressure.
In the end, successful marriages are usually 2 people who are willing to grow up instead of just grow older.
React.
You react. No.
You react.
My reaction is that I think every time I watch that or see that, there's new pieces that I can connect with. Yeah, absolutely. I think that the biggest pieces for me that I really, first of all, I agree with everything you said in the video.
So this content creator you have liked for a while, I think. No, you just found it randomly.
I found this video randomly.
Oh,
and this is the video I found.
Okay.
And it's one of her most popular.
Okay, got it. Okay.
And I just think this video is so apropos to our work, to my work, whether it's an individual or a couple, because a lot of the people that I work with and see on a daily basis are either in relationships or they're coming to me for a relationship concern. And because I really agree with a lot of things in the video, I will have them watch it in session.
Oh, really?
100%. Absolutely.
It's a good one. It's a good video.
Because it covers so much ground in a sufficient amount of time. And it really covers like a lot of the key elements of what I personally and professionally believe are part of a healthy relationship, especially a healthy relationship that has longevity. That's her whole point.
Yeah, exactly. So like which one of these?
Okay, I'm telling you. My favorites.
Your favorites.
Yeah. I have them. My favorite points are the accountability.
Okay, accountability.
The accountability without making themselves the victim.
Yeah.
Or without making it a courtroom drama.
Yeah.
I think so many people don't know how to fight.
Yeah.
They don't know how to fight in a relationship, whether it's not even necessarily in a romantic relationship. Yeah. I don't think they know how to have conflict in I guess when I say conflict, healthy conflict, like productive fighting. Or productive disagreement.
Have a grievance and you want to bring it up to someone and they can hear it, right? And like be curious and take responsibility, even if they don't necessarily agree or necessarily if they didn't mean to like create that feeling. They can kind of like take accountability, right, and problem solve for. I
think the accountability more is not like I want like if you and I are in conflict. It's not that I'm saying I want you to take accountability. I'm talking about when something comes up. I always encourage my patients, you talk about yourself first. Don't talk about the other person's behavior. Talk about your experience first. What are you doing? What can you see in this dynamic or this conflict between you and this person that just you are accountable for? I'm sure it's always easier to see
what's your role in
what's
this?
your part?
Yeah, what's your part? Yeah, I think that's super important.
That was my kind of takeaway for that point, and that's why I like it so much, is it really talks about, how did they take accountability? It's one thing for your spouse or your significant other or whatever relationship you have to call you out and then say, yeah, you're right, I'm sorry. That's part of it. But can the person independently say, you know what, I really recognize in our conversation, I did not do this well. I did not do this well.
I see.
I did not approach him the right way. I did not respond helpfully. Or when I said that was really uncool,
Right. Like, I have a role in this. I have a part. Like, it's not just, that's important. Right. I think to sort of like look at a conflict or a problem as a team.
Right.
You're a team together.
I talk about that all the time.
Yeah. And so then you both are able to see your role and your part, and then you can kind of problem solve to try to figure out what to do differently next time if
Absolutely.
If needed.
And I think the meeting each other at every new iteration.
That one's hard. I think, when I listen to this video, I think I do also agree with all of the points.
Right.
And think they all sound so hard. And so, like, I don't know, I'm thinking about myself in my 20s when I was dating and trying to find a partner.
Right.
And, like, in no way was I thinking about these things.
Sure. And maybe it's not a realistic example for people in their 20s to think about that. Maybe, I don't know.
Well, I think she is just, she's been with her partner for 16 years. They've been married for 10. So they've gone through iterations of themselves. She clearly has matured and grown up.
Yeah.
She, intentionally or unintentionally, found a partner that she could grow with, that she could learn this stuff with. And I think that is hard to do when you're not really being intentional about it. So when I think about the conflict stuff and the accountability and the values, I think we've talked about on this show, like only really in the past couple of years have I been really intentionally thought about what my values are.
Right.
So, basic ones, right? I want kids.
Sure.
Does my partner want kids? Like, maybe religion or money, like,
or I value independence in a relationship, what have you.
Right. But I think like the more nuanced values, it just feels incredibly relevant and also incredibly challenging, actually, when I hear the video, and important, but I think it takes maturity and practice and intentionality.
Well, I think also when you're in your 20s, I don't know, when you were in your 20s, we were both in grad school in our 20s, so we were not like, we were not. I mean, we were intentional, but not about. We were intentional about our degrees. I feel like.
I mean, I think that was like my priority. That
was the objective. And I also really feel like I don't know if you had pulled me aside at 25 and said, "What are your values?" I don't know if I would have been able to answer you.
So that's a good point. I think like you don't necessarily have to know, but I suppose you should know enough, at least instinctually, what's important to you.
Or ask. Like, I think a lot of people make assumptions and don't do there's a lot of assuming going on in relationships, guys. A lot of assuming.
About what's important.
About what their values are and what they think the other person's are. Versus like having a concrete conversation.
Yeah, I think a concrete conversation is really good. I think the more aware you are of your own values and what you think you need or want in a relationship,
expectations of your partner.
The expectations, I think that's all really important. As a nearly 40-year-old woman, this feels relevant, especially post-divorce.
Right.
I am sort of re-entering this space,
okay.
So to speak. So I'm hearing this video. I'm like, oh, okay, this is like, I'm like filing it away. I think I can digest this and use this much more easily now than I ever could when I was 20, 25.
And I don't know her demographics.
Yeah.
I don't know any, I've seen other of her videos and she's really good. I like her whole vibe.
In terms of how to use this professionally with patients, I love that you do that.
Oh my God.
Because
like a third to like
it's now like my mission when I am, not just because of this video, but because of my own journey and because of my own learning in this domain because I have been thinking about a lot of this as I'm making sense of my relationship history and trying to grow and learn and be intentional about choosing, partners. I am going to teach this stuff to my patients, to my 20-year-old patients that I have. Not, maybe I'll show them the video like you, but I certainly want to coach them on what are your values, what's important, like how do you feel when you're with this person? Yeah. Can you resolve conflict and repair? I think all of that's really important. And growing up, it's like you're choosing. It's like of course, the part about the childhood. I was like, yes,
you're marrying all of them, not just the part that you dated.
That is like so relevant, and I think like something that I kind of wish I had thought more about when I was younger.
I think we all could have thought about more when we were younger.
Yeah. Well, and also like me and my history, and then what
you're bringing versus
what I'm bringing to the table. I just don't think I was thinking about that so intentionally.
Sure.
When I was dating, younger, and when I was in long-term relationships necessarily.
Yeah, and I think I have been with my wife since 2011 and married since 19, and so I'll be honest, part of this kind of video kind of affirms my relationship.
I know,
so that's part of why I like it.
Part of why you like it.
Just gonna be honest. I do feel like we have grown together and as individuals so much, and it's so lovely, and I love every version of her, and that's just, I feel like a great gift that especially as I go on, I'm like more and more, I have more and more gratitude towards her and that, and her intentionality to show up on her own and do her work, and then her encouraging me to do mine. Yeah. I think, the last thing I want to say about this video is, and because we have other videos.
We have some other videos.
I really think people, and I think we're going to do maybe an episode over this, maybe something else. People don't know how to fight and how to repair.
Yeah.
And I really think
it's something that's relevant for parent-child relationships, friendships, romantic relationships.
Adult child to parent. There's tons of different, accountability and actually repairing conflict where it's not just being thrown over your shoulder to have a giant pile of resentment that you're dragging around with you into the next thing with this person. Because that's what people's like, oh, I just let it go. Oh, do you?
Well, that's what breeds resentment for sure. And resentment, like she was saying, defensiveness, resentment, also intimacy killer.
100%. You can't feel close or attracted to a person either physically or emotionally that you're still angry with secretly.
Yeah, that you're harboring resentment for.
Absolutely.
That's 1,000% true.
So
I think it creates distance, tons of distance.
Yeah. Okay, let's watch our next video.
Okay.
Video number 2.
I think one of the biggest things that my wife and I both needed to learn was that intent doesn't negate impact, right? That means just because I didn't intend to hurt you doesn't change the fact that you might still be hurt. Now, am I saying that you need to apologize for things you didn't do or take responsibilities for someone else's feelings and just agree with all their accusations? Or that they should be able to bring up concerns in a disrespectful and critical way? No, but we have to be very careful because I've met plenty of men and women who think any complaint, regardless of how it's brought up, is a form of disrespect, and that is immature. Take it from someone who was. While feelings aren't always 100% reliable or true, they are 100% real. And if we love this person, we should at bare minimum care that they're hurt, right? So let's just try to be curious instead of defensive. Let's close our mouth long enough to listen and try to actually understand the hurt underneath the complaint or the unmet need hidden within the frustration. Let's care about how our words and actions impacted them, even if you believe it was unintentional or they're misinterpreting things. Because when we don't, when we default to immediately launching into why we're not the bad guy, and we defend and we make excuses and we justify our actions and we interrupt them and we use this as an opportunity to counter-blame, it only leads to them feeling unheard and alone. That doesn't protect your connection together. It kills it.
Yikes. Yeah, absolutely. Okay.
Well, here we go. Jimmy is also agreeing with the other content creator. Defensiveness kills intimacy.
Right. Maybe that should be the title of this episode.
Right. Defensiveness. Bad. But also so common and so hard. It's hard. Again, this feels hard. Totally relevant.
Yes.
And so important.
Critical.
And absolutely, I agree.
I really like
what he's saying.
I really like the beginning part of the nuance of how he talks about not taking on, he's not saying that the person's feelings are invalid, but he's also not saying you should just co-sign everything that they're saying.
Yeah, you may not agree with their interpretation
Right.
of what you did.
Right.
Right. But the fact that they feel hurt is important.
Right.
And something that you can validate and be curious about while
Right.
also holding on to your truth
Sure.
that you didn't intend the harm, but that's okay.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people get defensive when they didn't mean to hurt a person.
Right.
It wasn't their intention and they take it personally, or it feels like a criticism, or
Sure.
they feel responsible for their partner's
Right.
feelings. All kinds of things get in the way. And then it's so hard to, be curious about the hurt.
It's so easy to feel attacked and really tricky to remember. If you're in a romantic relationship with a person, you're on the same team.
Yeah.
You guys are supposed to be a pair, a couple. You're hopefully choosing each other in this dynamic, I would think. So if you're choosing this person, then what can you think instead of feeling, well, they're just da-da-da-da-da? They're feeling this way. Let me listen to why. Let me understand.
Because this is something that we need to be on a team together to understand and potentially problem solve.
Right.
And because, the idea is that the relationship and the space and how it feels is co-created. And it's both partners, I think, should be priority to sort of, And so, I think that it just gets really hard because for lots of people, actual or perceived conflict, right, or criticism, or when their partner is not okay or they feel bad, it can be a threat to the attachment system. It's just, lots of people feel like that.
Well, I also
can be
I think
threatening.
The person that feels hurt, it could be coming from a place of something that they're not addressing within themselves, and they're kind of reflecting back to their partner, like accusing them when that wasn't the intent or even maybe the messaging. So maybe it might be
exactly
accountability for the, okay, I understand that you might have received it that way and I'm so sorry. Can we talk about why that might be?
Yeah, exactly.
What might be happening for you?
Yes, exactly.
That this is coming up, especially when you know that I love you, I care about you, I'm with you, I'm choosing you, I choose you every day.
Right. And then it may be the other person is interpreting that action from a certain lens, particularly if they have anxiety or depression or trauma or they're, extra
or negative
sensitive.
self-beliefs. Something that's not the other person's responsibility functionally.
It's not right. Exactly. So it's not about taking responsibility or agreeing with the interpretation that your partner is making, but it is saying, I care enough and I choose you and I love you enough to be curious about your feelings and understand and approach this with you on the same team.
Sure.
And to validate the hurt.
Yeah.
Right. And to sort of figure it out together. And perhaps perhaps you misstepped and there's an apology that needs to be made, but also maybe your partner is interpreting something based on their own lens and it's the hurt makes sense and also it's not necessarily true,
two things that seem opposite can be true at the same time, which is really confusing for a lot of people.
Well,
some people
I think for a lot of people, I think what Jimmy's talking about constitutes emotional maturity. This is something, I think that you can only really do if you are emotionally mature. And I think that takes a lot of time for some people and practice, in particular for those of us who did not grow up with any kind of model for what it looks like to be emotionally mature, or if we've not been in relationships, romantic or friendship-wise that have promoted that. So, both of the videos that we've watched so far, I feel like are two people who are quite emotionally mature, or at least sort of promoting skills that come from emotional maturity. And that is, I think, just very, very hard for many of us. So I think this is lofty and ideal and also challenging. And we can take baby steps towards doing some of this stuff, I think. This is perfect scenario to me. I don't think it always needs to go this way or has to go this way. But
I think that's part of the learning.
It's part of the learning. Mistakes, inevitable.
Mistakes are inevitable, and it doesn't mean anything about us.
See, recovering perfectionist. I'm trying.
Recovering. Take away the shame, baby. Just take it away. Okay.
Hold on. What was the last thing you said?
Take away the shame, baby.
No. Before that, rewind.
I don't.
That's my rewind sound.
Is that your?
Yeah, you said something about the video. The last thing you said about the video.
I have no idea. We have it on tape, so you can go back and look at it later.
I'll go back and look. I'm very interested in what you have to say.
Which I appreciate in a co-host and a friend.
I find
Thanks,
all the
buddy.
things you say very fascinating.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Someone should. Let's watch our last video and see what we have.
Okay.
I'm nervous.
This one's a short one.
Oh, good.
This one's a really short one.
Okay. Ooh, a child psychologist. I
Don't
love this.
threaten me with a good time.
Okay.
Now I want to sing this song,
there's
but
some content
this is
with
rage
this.
bait.
This is rage bait.
This is rage bait.
So there's some content that people should look at if they're.
Yeah, we need to read the.
I am.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is the caption underneath this video.
Okay, hear me out. The definition of valid is, quote, having a sound basis in logic or fact. Let's take an example. Your child is feeling terrified that if they order their own food, they will be judged and scrutinized by the waiter. Is this feeling based in logic or fact? Of course not. But that doesn't mean it's not important. Understanding the difference between acknowledging a feeling and validating a feeling is very important. Oh,
Okay, yeah, I didn't really like this.
I'm nauseous. There's more things, but I don't want to read it.
Okay, we turned
Dylan,
this,
could we turn this
that off?
Sorry,
I love
can't.
Natasha, but
It's a lot right now.
it's a lot right now.
It's a lot with this video. I have a lot of feelings, and you know what? They're valid. So this is.
So she's saying not all feelings are valid.
That's what she said.
That's what she said. And she is
But
she's taking the definition of valid and trying to link that
Go
to
ahead.
this example where if a kid is terrified because they are, afraid of being scrutinized, then you can acknowledge the feeling, but it's not valid because it's not based in logic. That's what this woman is saying. But I think
My head's spinning.
she's confused.
I'm nauseous. Keep going. I'm just going to try to regulate.
She feels confused because the feeling is always valid.
Right.
In this example, this child's scared because of a belief or interpretation, right? A belief that they
Right, a
have about being
thought.
scrutinized, a thought,
Not a feeling.
not a feeling. So when people all of the time in therapy tell me, I feel scared because, so-and-so is going to make fun of me or I'm going to
Right.
make a mistake, then
Right.
I will very intentionally say, that makes a lot of sense, actually. That is very valid.
Because it would be upsetting if that
course-
happened.
Of course you would feel scared if that is what you think is going to
Right.
happen. However, it is the thought. It is the assumption. It's the belief that is invalid.
Right. And so like my own 5-year-old started school this week
Mm-hmm.
and she asked me like one night before bed, before school, what if the other kids laugh at me?
Oh, boy. So cute.
So cute. And and I was just like, oh, honey,
Yes.
then that just is going to tell you that they're probably not going to be a good friend and they're probably not someone that you really want to spend a lot of time because it's,
That's not good friendship
that's
behavior.
not good friendship. Right.
Yeah.
And so, but I absolutely validated her emotions because it is distressing when people are making fun of you.
That is why this is
Like,
not correct. I don't like this because this is
I
not.
really don't like this at all. And I strongly disagree. I think all feelings are valid. What I always, my favorite example. I'm going to do it. I think I've done it already, but that's okay. I don't care. I can be repetitive.
Of course you can. You can do whatever you want.
I
You're
can.
Dr. Brindle Doss.
I am.
I am.
So when people struggle in session with me as a professional to understand, the difference between thoughts and feelings and how to understand and make sense of them, I always say, okay, we're going to do a little example. We're going to do like a little thing. I'm going to tell you something, and I want you to react to it. And I was okay. I feel like the King of France, and they'll be like making faces at me. And I'm like, I feel like the King of France. I feel like the King of Mother America France, right? And then I asked them, is that real? Am I really the King of France? They're like, well, no, that's da-da-da. And I do intentionally choose a really extreme example.
Right. To make
But
a
I
point.
highlight to them, just because you have it, like I can feel powerful and important and special, but I am not the ruler of a large country.
Yeah, exactly.
There is an emotion and there is a reality. It's part of the picture. Your feelings are part of the picture.
Yeah.
But they're not the full camera.
Yeah,
Of
right.
the experience.
The feeling's always valid, and then you want to think about the accuracy of the thought belief, assumption behind the emotion.
Exactly.
And so, just like we were talking about with Jimmy before,
right.
feelings are always valid.
Jimmy said it.
Jimmy said it already. Feelings are valid, but also your interpretation may not be accurate. So
which is the thought or the belief.
Which is the thought or the belief, and that comes from your history and,
internal working model.
Your internal working model of yourself and relationships and schemas and beliefs that you've developed over the course of your life that may not always be very realistic
and
or
sometimes
factual
it's a real
or helpful.
It's a real relief to people when their thoughts and beliefs aren't are not fully accurate, because there's scary things we think, and sometimes even scary things we might believe about ourselves or others.
It's the whole approach behind cognitive behavioral therapy.
Right.
Like some of our beliefs are helpful and some are not. But they
Yes.
all make sense based on our history, and we want to challenge unhelpful assumptions and beliefs and thoughts.
I literally use that language all the time.
Yeah.
Because people use bad or good, and it's really like the valuation's not helpful.
And
so I'm like, what are we doing that's helpful?
Yeah.
What's working for you? What are we doing that's or what's unhelpful right now?
Yeah. Sure, absolutely. So I'm annoyed by this video. I think she probably did this on purpose. There was a little comment in there, too, about how comments were turning off to protect everyone's mental health. I think because there were probably lots of people being like...
She got a lot of fish with that rage bait. She got a lot of fish with that rage bait.
Yeah. So, I don't really agree with what she's saying.
I don't agree either.
And I can understand, like, even why some people would believe that, though, too.
I guess.
Like, I think lots of people don't know the difference between thoughts and feelings.
Yes,
like,
absolutely. I agree with that, for sure.
I think that's just...
It's misunderstood.
It's misunderstood, and it's kind of hard.
She's misunderstanding it.
She's misunderstanding.
She's a child psychologist.
But again, she may have
I have no idea.
Intentionally tried to rage bait us.
I did not want to find out the validity of her anything, and I just was like, I didn't research it. I don't want to. I don't want to know if there's a licensed professional out there spreading such fundamentally inaccurate information about a basic therapy that we're all taught in school, cognitive behavioral therapy. Like, that is wild to me. Wild.
Oh, my goodness.
Speaking of wild.
Oh, what? Yeah?
What did you think of today? What are you taking away?
Oh, from this
saga, this episode?
I think I'm getting more comfortable with the unscripted stuff.
What?
And also, we need to work on your song. That's what I'm taking. That's for me.
It started with a high note and it just went flat. Oh, well. I'm taking away that I definitely want to, I feel like it's confirming a lot of the things that, like, when you find other creators that agree with a lot of things, that it's nice to hear and see on the internet information that is accurate and that is thoughtful. And also, again, it's a good reminder that not everything on the internet is accurate, even when the person says they're a licensed professional.
Yeah, sure.
So I think, I'm taking away just the balance of it.
Yeah, just need to be, like, thoughtful about what you're consuming.
And don't assume everything, this is an obvious one, but don't assume everything that you see is accurate. Like, do your own research.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Okay. Well, hey, let's do it again. This podcast is intended for informational and educational purposes only and is not a substitute for therapy, diagnosis, or any kind of professional mental health treatment. We hope that we can share with you our experience authentically and genuinely, and we hope that occasionally we'll make you laugh. Maybe you can relate to our quest and how we're psyched for sanity. The content we share is our personal opinions and insights. They are not clinical insights to anyone, and they don't represent or reflect any entity that we work and or have worked for in the past. But if listening to this podcast has made you think, we really encourage you to seek out a mental health professional in your area.